What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is going to be my comprehensive analysis and review of the Ninja Training banner, which features Duo Corrin, Ninja Igrene, Ninja Male Corrin, and Ninja Shinon. So I'll be going over the best builds that you can run on these units for different game modes like Arena, Aether raids, and PvE. And as always, if you do enjoy these banner reviews, I would really appreciate if you could do the true damage on like and subscribe, just like these ninja weapons. And with that said, let us begin. Duo Corrin is a green mage cavalier with ninjutsu scrolls as her preferred weapon. This weapon gives her +4 speed and reduces her defense and resistance by 4. And this is actually a brave weapon similar to Dire Thunder of Reinhardt, but this weapon also gives her the true damage based on the 70% difference between the speed stat of Corrin against the foe, and at max she can get +7 true damage with this weapon. So this means that she can pretty much get 28 true damage if she can quad attack an enemy, which is extremely good for taking out even many bulky units. Duo Corrin's stat spread is absolutely amazing with that 41 base attack and 40 base speed. Her bulk doesn't really matter too much, and she's mostly going to be dying to any kind of hard hitting unit who can retaliate back to her. And that's why I think that I prefer having plus attack IV a lot more than having plus speed IV, because killing things in your 2 hits of brave weapon is a lot better than relying on quad attacking, because it will involve you to survive a hit from the enemy. So that could be annoying, but with desperation you can definitely work out with a quad attacking build. But in general, I do prefer killing in the first 2 brave hits. Duo Corrin has got a duo skill which is pretty similar to that of NINJORRIN, and this can pretty much give her a self dance, but keep in mind this self dance only works if she has entered into combat in that same turn, so you cannot really destroy a structure or move 2 spaces and then use the duo skill. You need to attack an enemy and then you can use this duo skill. This duo skill also has a dual effect built into it, which allows Ninja Corrin to score like a 195 BST unit in Arena. So in the high echelons of Arena, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of Duo Corrins because she's a really good scoring unit, and also she's really powerful. So if she ends up winning a Hero Rises event, or if she's part of a Hero Rises banner, then expect her to see a lot in Arena, similar to how we see NINJORRIN so much in Arena. So she's a fantastic unit scoring wise, one of the highest scoring units in Arena. In Aether Raid's offense, it's of course not going to be that easy to use this duo skill because any kind of decent team is going to be having duo's hindrance, so you cannot just pop the skill immediately, but still you can easily take out the duo units of the opponent or take out the duo hindrance structure straight away. So you can definitely play around that factor, and she's still going to be a very powerful unit in the player's hands. So NINJORRIN overall is a very solid unit. Having green color is super good because she can have a weapon strangle advantage against common far save units like Brave Hector, who's extremely popular, and also Winter Felix, who is also popular on the free-to-play side of things. So she can function as a really great hit and run unit, not to mention the 2 mythic units which are going to be the most common mythic defense units like Note and Saros are also blue. And Brave Hector with Far Save is really common in Aether Raids, so whenever you're going to be facing him, maybe in a catch a ball team, Duo Corrin is going to be a very strong unit to just attack and kill him and then retreat with her Fortress skill. A brave weapon also helps her against something like Ascended Fiorm, who does have Ice Mirror, but then on the brave hit of Ninja Corrin, she's not going to be having it available. So the brave hit helps Ninja Corrin a lot as a nuker, especially with that 3 movement and the Fortress skill that she comes with. So she's really similar to NINJORRIN that we got last year, but I still like NINJORRIN a lot more than Ninja Corrin, mainly because of the fact that she can run Disarm Trap and also has a -1 special cooldown Brave Dagger. So that can help you quite a lot in Aether Raids, and she also can just nuke a lot harder because of being a colorless unit. And Ninja Corrin will run into some bad red matchups which are going to be annoying for her to kill, like Dual Live and Legendary Sigurd, and of course even the Dancer Sigurd can be an annoyance for her because she hits on the resistance and also is a green color unit. So you pretty much have to use her as a counter pick unit so that you can hit and run, or just use her with a lot of dancers so that you can just oppressively attack the opponent and pretty much destroy their team. Overall, Duo Corrin is a very strong unit, and she's amazing as a one-off unit. Just even at Unmerge, she's going to be packing a lot of punch, and she can give you a lot of value as a unit in general in pretty much any kind of game mode, in my opinion. She already comes with a really good base kit that is going to be giving you a lot of power, so you don't really have to do too much, and you can just run Moonbow if you're going to be facing some high resistance opponents. And Blade Session is the perfect sacred seal for a unit like her who's really focused on the player phase, and she does have a brave weapon, so she wants to have all the attack that she can possibly get, and the speed can definitely help her get the true damage as well. So Blade Session is by far the best option here. If you don't really like the recall damage of the push skill, then you can also try to have Susparo. I know many people don't really like the recall damage of a push skill, and as it is, ideally she doesn't want to take any kind of damage from the opponent, and she mostly wants to function in the player phase, so Susparo can definitely work. But if you want to have a higher throughput, then you could also try to run attack speed catch 4 on her, which can provide her with +9 attack and speed, and then Blade Session can provide her with also +9 attack and speed, so that can really maximize her offenses. And a smoke skill can be run with a cat skill so that you can synergize well with it and just activate its condition. She's amazing in Aether Raid's offense in any kind of season really as a hit and run unit. So you want to make sure that you can smite her into the range of the opponent, and then you can attack the opponent, take them out, and just retreat with the Fortress skill. So that is going to be the playstyle. And just on a budget, she can be run with Blade Session even at unmerged. But if you want to invest a bit more into her, then you can run Fury 4 and have attack IV and also HP Bane. So this pretty much allows you to fall into the Wings of Mercy range of your allies. You can also run Desperation with this kind of build if you're gonna be relying only on your Ninja Corrin for her quad attacks for taking out the enemy. So that could be done, and you can easily run that with a lot of dancers. But you can also use this build to pretty much set up Gale Force for your allies, or just opening up the way for your Wings of Mercy dancers. So that's why Fury 4 with the HP Bane is going to be helpful, and Winterburn Vendetta or Duma can really help you with this kind of strategy so that you can fall into the Wings of Mercy range before even engaging the enemy by using Ardent Sacrifice. And just with 2 Ardent Sacrifice and 1 combat, you can fall into the Wings of Mercy range as well. So that's certainly an option that you can use. You probably have seen a lot of Ninja Lins using Fury 4 and having an HP Bane with plus attack IV, so the idea is pretty similar here with Corrin, and with 3 mythics she can easily have that kind of HP and make it work out with the Wings of Mercy allies. She can also be a really strong unit in Aether Raid's defense, and definitely much better than Ninja Lin because she's got a brave weapon, and she also has the color advantage against one of the most popular tanks in the entire game, Brave Hector. So that is really amazing, and against many heavily invested, max invested Hectors with Summoner support, with Flame support, she's not going to be able to kill them. So that's why Windsweep is really good to have in slot B. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Trace skills in Aether Raid's defense because it can definitely be pretty annoying for the AI movement. So that's why I think that Windsweep is a really nice budget option that you can run on her. Safely attack max invested Brave Hectors who will not die, but against the low invested Brave Hectors who are not really supported well, then Ninja Corrin easily picks off those kinds of Brave Hectors. So she makes up for a really threatening unit for a lot of people who like to use tanking strategies, and the fact that she's a duo unit also means that you can just enable duo hindrance using her, so that's an option as well. Certainly a pretty solid option for Aether Raid's defense. And if you want to invest a bit more into her, then ARD attack speed 4 is an option, and you can just go all out into her offenses with this kind of build by also running a lull skill so that she can really hit hard, because Peony is going to be buffing up the stats of the allies, and with a plus attack IV with this kind of ARD skill, you can just maximize on killing opponents with your first brave hits. And another thing which I have to mention for the Aether Raid's offense build is that against Hectors who run the Hardy Fighter Aegis build, they're going to be a bit annoying for this kind of Duo Corrin, or even the Brave Hectors who might run Deflect Magic if Duo Corrin becomes common enough. So you definitely have to watch out for those matchups as well, because Brave Hector has really overtuned Weapon Refine, and when he's present on a map with max investment and a well-built team, then it could be annoying for her, especially if the opponent has got those kinds of builds which I've just mentioned. And finally, if you have invested into her with merges and stuff, and you want to make her as a long-term merge project, then she can be a really good option because she scores as a 195 BST unit in Arena, and that is just absolutely amazing. Not only she's really good for scoring, but she's also an extremely strong unit in your hands in Arena because of the Fortress skill and also the self-dance that she can get. So you have some really amazing player phase options if you use Ninja Lin in your team. Ninja Igrene is a colorless dagger flyer this time with Nabata Kunai as her preferred weapon. This is pretty similar to that of Corrin's, giving her the extra speed, reducing her bulk, and she also has the brave effect on this weapon. So this weapon also gives her the super aerobatics similar to that of Halloween Noe. So the teleportation shenanigans with Ninja Igrene is pretty insane, and the fact that she can nuke really hard with this kind of brave weapon with her high attack stat makes her into a really strong unit. Of course, she is no Ninja Lin, but still Ninja Igrene is a pretty solid unit herself with this preferred weapon. 43 base attack is really good. She doesn't really have a super boon in it, but of course you would like to have a boon in attack because of this kind of brave weapon. Her base kit does include C-Dual Flying 4, and I've made a separate video going over the best users of it from the free-to-play as well as the premium pool, so you can check out that video in the description and also in the cards. So Ninja Igrene overall is going to be a pretty solid unit with the flying mobility, the brave weapon, and her good base attack. And the super aerobatics makes her a threat because you have to watch out for that. She can just teleport and kill you. Now thankfully she's a seasonal unit, so she's not going to be that common. But still, you have to respect her super aerobatics that she has got, and she can honestly be a really solid unit in the player's hands. She can be a really fun unit with that teleportation, and the fact that she's a flying dagger unit means that she can of course run Disarm Trap. Now unfortunately, because Ninja Igrene has got this kind of teleportation weapon, she doesn't really get too much utility out of a Fortress skill, because most of the time she's going to be teleporting, and whenever you teleport with a ranged flyer or a ranged cavalry unit, with a Fortress skill, you don't really get anything out of it. You don't really get any kind of Kanto utility. So that's why you're mostly going to be using the debuffs from the Fortress skill more so than the actual movement utility. And as it is, ranged flying units don't really have too many good slot B options. So if you want to build her up on a budget, you can still keep the C-Dual Flying 4, because at the end of the day, it is pretty much like a Fury without giving you the recall damage and gives you some extra HP, so it could be worked out on a budget. And Desperation is by far her best slot B skill for any kind of PvE content, so that you can quad attack safely, and you just want to run Blade Session with this kind of player phase unit. Again, if you don't really want to have a push skill, and if you want to have a better skill for her slot A, then Susparo or Susparo 3 is going to be a good option. Attack speed catch is also a good option. She already gets the debuffs from her weapon as it is, so it's pretty easy to activate the skill. So these are the two main premium options that she really appreciates. And because she is a flying dagger unit, you can of course make use of the Disarm Trap and use the teleportation to attack and snipe the opponents. So she can be really helpful in the Aether season where there's no peony to provide you with the orders buff. So she can teleport herself with her weapon, so that is really good. And then Regan can use the Kanto and reposition to get her out of the danger zone. So that is pretty much going to be the playstyle with this kind of Ninja Igrene and Aether Raid's offense. And again, just like Ninja Lin, you can run Attack Boon with minus HP IV and run Fury 4 so that you can eventually set up the Wings of Mercy. She doesn't really have the Self Dance, but after 3 combats, she's going to be entering the Wings of Mercy range, and if you face Duma, then it's even easier. So if you're trying to use a lot of Wings of Mercy dancers or just setting up Gale Force with her, then this could be an option with Fury 4. And if you want to use her in Aether Raid's defense, then she of course is a lot more threatening than Ninja Lin because of the fact that she's got super aerobatics, so the opponent has to respect that. But if the opponent is using some kind of far safe unit, then they don't really care too much about where she teleports from. So that's why you can run Windsweep to just annoy the hell out of those enemies who are slow enough and they do not really die to her brave hits. The RD attack speed 4 is just perfect for her slot A, but you can also run some other offensive slot A options like Susparo attack speed push 4 if you don't really have the skill. Finally, if you do invest into her heavily, then she can just be used with C-Dual Flying 4 and she can be run with Windsweep. Again, Fortress is not going to be giving you too much utility, so I wouldn't really recommend it. You only get debuffs out of it, and I think that Desperation, Windsweep, and Disarm Trap can give you the utility which she really needs in many of the matchups or these situations. So I personally like Windsweep on her with this kind of arena build. Ninja Male Corrin is a Lance Infantry unit, and he's actually the 4-star focus unit of the Ninja Training banner, and he's a pretty popular character, so many people are going to be trying to plus and merge him, and because he's a 4-star focus unit, it is going to be a bit easier to do that. So he comes with Special Spiral and Susparo, so this is the first time we have got Special Spiral on a 4-star focus unit, but of course if you do get him at 4-star, you'll have to spend 20,000 feathers to upgrade that and have that at version 3. So as a unit himself, he comes with Ninja Naginata Plus, which is an inheritable weapon, and I definitely like this weapon a lot more than NINJORRIN Plus. First of all, it's a lot easier to get than Ninja Navarre, and secondly, the true damage that this weapon gives is super amazing for securing KOs compared to the extra speed that NINJORRIN gives you. So I'm going to be giving this weapon to my Fallen Dimitri, and I feel like Fallen Dimitri is one of the best users of this kind of ninja weapon. Stat-wise, Ninja Male Corrin has got 40 base attack, and he also has a super boon in it while having 38 speed, which is pretty workable, and he does have decent mixed bulk, so he can function as a pretty nice balanced lance infantry unit. But keep in mind that we just got Summer Norn this year as another lance infantry unit in the Grail pool. If you compare these two units, then he's basically a slower Summer Norn who has got a bit more attack and a bit more physical bulk. Other than that, Summer Norn can pretty easily close the gap with the extra dragon flowers that you can get. So this is something to consider if you're trying to build up a lance infantry unit. Of course, if you like Male Corrin a lot, then he can be a good option. But if you're just looking to build up a lance infantry unit, then I feel like Norn can pretty much save you the orbs and also function as a pretty great unit by using your grails and trade fruits. So if you want to build up Ninja Corrin on a budget, then you can just go with Savage Blow as his slotty skill and just go with his default skills. And if you want to invest a bit more into him, then Flashing Blade 4 is a really good option because it provides you with the true damage, and that actually stacks up with the true damage that Ninja Naginata gives. So you're pretty much getting 9 true damage per hit, which is extremely good for just securing those KOs. And that's why Time Pulse with Gale Force is really amazing with this ninja weapon, because Gale Force becomes a 4-turn special which you can easily trigger with your 2 hits, and Love Speed Defense just enhances your attack power and also helps you just meet the speed check for getting the true damage out of this weapon. He can also be used as a tank by using Steadfast Lance, which we now have easily available in the normal summoning pool on Benny, so it does neutralize the attack and defense penalties on Ninja Corrin, and that can be a pretty nice weapon with this kind of enemy phase build with Distant Counter Spurn and Mystic Boost for the healing. If you want to invest a bit more into him, then Flowing Lance is also a really strong option. Unfortunately, we don't have any kind of Pelagian Lance, so he cannot really have access to that. So I feel like Flowing Lance and Steadfast Lance are his best options when it comes to the tanking. And Flowing Lance provides you with the lull attack defense built into the weapon, so that is really good because you're going to be running a damage reduction build with this kind of Ninja Corrin. And you can run Distant Stance from Legendary Fae if you're really dedicated to Corrin, but Distant Counter also works. So you can also use him as a Gale Force unit as I've previously shown, but if you don't really want to use Flashing Blade 4 in the slot A and you still want to have some damage reduction, then Frenzy could be an option with a player phase slot A option like Sparrow. And again, Time Pulse is a really good option if you want to run Gale Force with this kind of ninja weapon. He can also function as a pretty good unit in Arena because he does score 185 BST, and he's certainly better than someone like Winter Hilda in my opinion, who is an armor unit and has the armor weakness and also the 1 movement, so he pretty much scores the same as Winter Hilda. And he also has access to the infantry skills like the damage reduction skills, for example, and he can run a build like this. Flowing Lance is extremely important for Arena where units are going to be running the rally skills, and he can pretty much try to increase his speed by this kind of attack speed menace, and Close Call is definitely pretty amazing in Arena. Spurn can also be an option, but the movement utility of Close Call can definitely be helpful many times. If you want to use him in an Aether Raids offense, then as a Gale Force unit he can function with its Curdance, and this is definitely one of the more reliable ways of Gale Forcing, and its Curdance is only a lance weapon. We don't really have the sword or axe equivalent of this, so he can definitely function with this build with Flashing Blade 4 and Wings of Mercy. You can either run a unit with Infantry Pulse or maybe Raphael, who can just reduce the cooldown of Gale Force to 2, or you could just run Time Pulse in the slot C. Having a 2-turn Gale Force is extremely useful because just with a single hit you can trigger that, and that can be really helpful if you're using Savage Blow on your team a lot and you're just going to be chipping down the health of the opponent. And if you just want to trigger this against a very frail unit, you can also use him as an initiator with Winter Bernadetta, This is a pretty similar concept to that which I talked about in the Ninja Shamir video. So you pretty much run Winter Bernadetta and run a lot of dancers with Wings of Mercy. You just set up with Ardent Sacrifice by having the Reese damage be a way of using Ardent Sacrifice, or maybe the Dumas upheaval damage, and then you pretty much go from there and kill the opponents by quad attacking with the Flashing Blade 4 and Ninja Naginata, also giving you the true damage to help you with it. You can also run him as a tank in Aether Raid's offense because he can function as a melee specialist who's being covered by a far safe tank, and blue color is actually pretty good, so he can be used in any season, but light season is a bit better because he can deal with Legendary Seeker nodes pretty easily for your team. Attack speed unity is amazing on him as a melee specialist because Node is going to be having the Menace skill, and in the Astro season Mirabilis is going to be having the Whimsical Dream. So you can just run that and run Null Follow-Up or even the damage reduction skill. Candy Cane can be a really good option so that you can just prevent these special charges, and if you're running a damage reduction skill in slot B, then Candy Cane becomes even better because you don't have Null Follow-Up to stop the follow-up attacks of something like Legendary Seagate, so you don't really want him to hit you with another Holy Knight aura. So that's why Candy Cane is a really good weapon if you're running Unity skill. You can also run this build with Springy Lance and having a stance 3 skill so that you can deal with the debuffs while also getting the guard effect. Ninja Shinon is a red infantry archer, and he has got Ninja Yumi Plus as the inheritable weapon. So this is actually new because last year we didn't really get any kind of inheritable ninja bow, so this can be a really good option for any kind of player who has got a highly invested bow unit, so they can easily make use of this better brave bow that also gives you true damage, and that can be really helpful in clearing a lot of the in-game content with just 3 dancers, and overall it's gonna be a powerful option for any kind of good offensive archer who has got good high speed. So Shinon of course makes fantastic use of this with his offensive stat spread of 40 base attack and 43 base speed, and Deadeye is going to be present on Shinon, but he doesn't really have Time Pulse that he does in his original version. Still, he has got attack speed solo 4 and lot speed defense, and his bulk isn't going to be the highest, but it's not really too frail, but overall you just want to make use of his offenses for the most part, and he also has the super boon in those too. He might not have a preferred weapon, and because of that he's not going to be that incentivizing unit for many people, but still he's not that bad of a unit because of that stat spread. So if you want to build him up on a budget, you can definitely give him Savage Blow or Speed Smoke for his slot C and just have Blade Session. And Deadeye could be used, but you can also use this kind of PvE build with a quad ninja build using Flashing Blade 4 and a 2-turn special like Moonbow and just having Desperation. So again, this is just for clearing up the abyssal content or chain challenges with 3 dancers, and once he's in the Desperation range he can easily quad attack, get the true damage from both Flashing Blade and his weapon, and trigger Moonbow. And with Flashing Blade 4 he can even trigger this against units who have got the guard skill. You can also use him with a more expensive PvE option with Special Spiral and Double Life and Death with Slaying Bow. So because of his good attack stat, you can go with the attack super boon and just increases visible attack with Double Life and Death, and this can allow him to do a lot of damage with the AoE special. And this can also be used in Aether Raid's offense honestly, but there I feel like Ophelia is going to be a bit better unit because of the magical damage and how easy it is to set up her special. You can also use him with Spendthrift Bow, but unfortunately he's not going to be making use of the close foil from Midori with that. He likes to have attack speed solo in the slot A. I don't think you should try to tank melee units with something like close foil, especially at low investment. So you can just go with Time Pulse and have Deadeye as a 2-turn special so that you can actually trigger it in a single round of combat even with Spendthrift Bow. And you can use them in Rooker Siege as well. Like right now, as of making this video, we do have Hellbendi and Ilger as the green Rooker bosses. So that's why having this kind of red bow archer with a brave weapon like Ninja Yumi, which can also be used for quad attacking, can be a really good option for just, beating those green bosses. And you can run Deathblow 3 in slot A or even have Triangle Adept so that you can get more damage. And because he's a ranged unit, he cannot have access to Gale Force, and that's why Astra can be a pretty good option for getting that extra damage. And Breath of Life can simply heal up the dancers who will be taking the chip damage from the other enemies or even from the Rooker boss itself. Shinon can also be used at max investment in Arena, and he actually does not really need any kind of dual skill to do that, because after the first merge he can already reach 180 BST, so he can just run attack speed solo 4 in his slot A and run a Platinum Bow Because he doesn't have a preferred weapon, he's forced to run a 300 SP Slotsy skill for getting the max arena scoring. So Attack Defense Menace has got perfect synergy with this kind of Platoon bow, and you can definitely run Null Follow Up. Speed defense is fine, but Null Follow Up can definitely help you against the opponents who have the follow up negation skills. I don't really think he has a major place in Aether raids in general, either on offense or even on defense, but he can be used with this kind of build to annoy the opponents with either Instant Bow or Reindeer Bow. Instant Bow has got the impact effect and Reindeer Bow has the guard effect, so it really depends on which effect you want for your team, and ARD attack speed 4 is going to be perfect. If you can have some infantry pulse charges, then pre-charge Jedi can be deadly, but you can still just have it as a 2-turn special by having time pulse in the slot C. So I hope you all enjoyed my banner review. If you did, then make sure to share this video with your friends who are investing into any of these ninja units, and if you enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and if you really enjoyed, you can always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH analysis videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as an inheritable ninja dagger. So that's it, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.